All right. Hi. This is a unique idea. It's very heavily inspired by some content I've seen online involving Minecraft and talking. Um, First, I'm just going to kind of make the world here. We'll just call this Minecraft and the, well, call it the truths of the, no, we'll call this Minecraft. We'll just call it Minecraft and Talk. How about that? Just have it on the normal difficulty. No commands, no special, nothing. Just a normal Minecraft world. Alright. Spawn Savannah. It's pretty nice. Gotta check my options. Turn that off. Hello. Yeah. Nice. I don't know how that sounds on the other end. So that's gonna be interesting. So, this is episode 1. I gotta blow my nose. There's no way. That is one way you can start a series, is by blowing actual straight up boogers out of your nose. Not even snot, boogers, straight up. Um, so our first topic is going to be an interesting topic. Every topic could be kind of deep, right? And you'll kind of understand the premise as we go on. Man, this mouse sensitivity so high. Oh my goodness. I'm not used to it. Um, but the premise is quite simple, right? We just talk about some fun stuff. Not so fun stuff, not really. But our first episode here is got a simple question for me. I've written this all down. What is life? Now, we could get really dictionary with what life is. But I prefer more of a philosophical approach when talking about life and what it means to people to be alive. Generally speaking, uh, being alive is just quite simply being alive. You're breathing. You aren't starving. You're not dying of thirst. Just in general, you're alive. It's pretty simple. Not really much is needed to know. Like, but once you really dig deep into it and you kind of start to think, what does it mean to live? And people come up with different answers. Like they might be like, oh well, like we said, like you're literally alive, so therefore that is what it means. Other people will probably say, well, what like to live means to have a happy life. And that's a pretty valid response as well. Um, those are just two examples I can think off the top of my head. But if you ask enough people, they will give you different ideas and different concepts for you to understand. Like you could say, I just killed this cow. It's dead. It's not alive. I'm a little locked in on killing these animals. I'm sorry. So, what does it mean to live? To live is to live good. Is to have a life where you are not simply getting by. To live is to have comfort, have some sort of level of luxury. And I think living is something that has kind of been lost on our generation. Oh, I forgot to mention. I am not some elder sage, right? I am not this extremely intelligent old man bestowing knowledge. I am in my early 20s. But I've seen some things, alright? So when we get into some, non-abstract, because this is an abstract topic, and I'm giving myself 30 minutes to talk about an abstract topic while intentionally playing Minecraft in a slower way. It's a little different, and I'm gonna see if I like it. If I don't, then you probably won't be seeing any more videos of this, but I'm gonna try to give it a good old go, and a genuine go, and not just do it once, dislike it, and then stop. I'm gonna try to do it multiple times. You shouldn't force yourself to do things you hate, though. So if I hate it, I'm not doing it, right? But of course, that's another interesting topic. If I would like to actually go on a side rant for that. A lot of times, actually, in life, we have to do things that we hate. And it's often those things that build our character the most. Think about it. Would you be the same person if those things didn't happen? If those things that you hated to do didn't happen, if you didn't do it, where would you be now? Some people might even say that they'd be in a better place. And you know what? That's fair enough. I could probably just say the same about a few things in my own life that I feel like would have gone better if I was just able to just not. But that's another part of living, is experiencing things. See how I brought it right back? That is what it means to live, is to experience things. Wisdom is using the knowledge built from these experiences in a way that builds you up. A lot of people get wisdom twisted with knowledge. They think that they're the same thing, they're different. I could be knowledgeable about something but have zero wisdom in it. But I raised up an interesting idea earlier about whether or not our generation is, able to enjoy a lot of the same luxuries that, say, previous generations have. You see, Gen Z, my generation, of which I am I don't say elder as in oh no, I'm so old, but more like elder as in I just happen to be of the older part of my generation. But as a member of the older part of my generation, I have seen everything. I've seen our moments where we were honestly really close to how Gen Alpha acts, and times now we're more like how millennials are greatest, not greatest, but silent Gen. How do I have an armadillo scoot already? There's armadillos here. But silent generation sort of tendencies. But here's the thing, we're not living, we're surviving. That's the answer to the question. We are currently in a time where we are surviving. We are not living, we are surviving. Think about it. How many people do you know right now who are living paycheck to paycheck? All of them, right? Same here. I know pretty much every single person I know is living paycheck to paycheck. And it's unsustainable. Eventually you run out of money. But what can you do? The government doesn't seem to care. Your taxes don't care. Nothing changes. It just gets worse, really, if it does change. People are having to learn to live without certain utilities. And a lot of this is caused, by and large, our own faults, but also the faults of those who came before us. Of course, that is a different conversation. A more proper way to continue that would be to ask, what do we do as young people? There's a lot of things you can do. Right now, trades are kind of a hot topic, kind of a hot trend, which is why I would stay away from a trade personally, because it has become such a trend that you're going to see in the next 20 years, there's going to be probably too many people in that stuff. So what you need to do is figure out something that has longevity to it. It has become nighttime. It has come to my awareness that it is nighttime. Okay. Sheep. We found our way out of the nighttime, fellas. Thanks, Mojang. Very cool. Well, I guess I should be thanking Notch, because Notch is the one who made the beds. But you know what I mean. So, what do we do? Like I said, probably don't hit a trade school. Unless you're going into a really specialized, crummy trade like plumbing, I would not go into a trade if I was you. It's kind of an interesting area, isn't it? Did we like this spot? Maybe. I do want to explore a little bit more. Oh, we can get some copper stuff pretty quickly now. That's pretty cool. Oh, do you see it? Oh my... Oh, do you see it? It's perfect. Oh, my apologies. Sorry, I got way caught up in all this. I'm sorry. Um, so I was on, yes, how does young person live now? Which has multiple purposes as a topic. For one, I want to discuss what it means to live as like Gen Z, right? But also what to do. I've already been kind of telling you what to do, right? But college isn't necessarily always the option here. You can still go into a trade school, colleges, but I would go into a college or university if you can that has a works program to make you as debtless as possible. Going debt free is unlikely, but you can reduce your debt. What in the world is this? I don't know. All I know is I basically got iron right now, and I'm very happy. That's what I like about copper. Super common. Ugh. Super useful. Oh my gosh. I keep bunny trailing. I might have to make these longer just so I can... I don't even know if I'm gonna edit out my little bunny trails. Maybe that's just gonna be part of the charm, you know? You just sit here and listen to me babble on about some nonsense. Okay. So, young people right now. I'm gonna move away from the what to do's and more of the what's going on. Of course, I've already mentioned that Gen Z is living paycheck to paycheck right now. And the problem is, we've got a few $1 trillion in debt as a nation for you Americans, which this is almost probably likely exclusively going to be accessed by Americans, but to any of you like British folk, we in America are a little, I mean, don't get me wrong, you English people are way more cooked than we are. I've seen English politics. You guys are screwed. You're dead. You're a dead nation. But, what I'm more thinking about right now, right, is that the insane amount of debt has created a situation in which it is hard to see it being possible for human prospering in this generation. Paycheck to paycheck, having to turn off certain utilities. I mean, these are sort of conditions that, like, our parents lived in. Why is the world in a worse state than what our parents found it in? Of course, that is technically a completely different question. But it's the boomers. Let's be honest, it's the boomers. But moving on, alright. We kind of get the idea. Gen Z is growing up. You're growing up. I'm growing up. And we're getting older. We're getting older, man. And we're not getting any younger. And one of the problems is that our generation is trying to act like it's going to stay young forever. That is a massive problem. Now you might be wondering, why is this a massive problem? In what way? Right? Could this possibly be a problem? It's quite simple, really. Oh no, I lost my train of thought? I'm definitely gonna have to think these episodes a little bit more out and ahead of time. Episode 2 is gonna be the true test. This is just simply the start. This is getting the groundwork laid out. So Gen Z is growing up. And we're getting out of our parents' basements. We're starting to hit the real world. Some of us took skip years and are now entering college or trade school. And we're realizing that we live in a time where we can't live. We survive. And it especially hurts when our grandparents so brazenly in front of us get to enjoy life and go on basically constantly. They basically start living on cruises, right? Cruises. Something you wish you could afford. And they're just doing it casually. It's just one big casual thing for them. The boomers, simply put, they've used up the wealth and the strength and the power that those who came before them gave to them because they didn't earn it. When you don't earn that sort of immense strength, you start to get a bit prideful. Don't get me wrong. I'm proud to be an American too. It's a land where at least I know that I'm free, right? For all of her faults, America is a free nation. But in it lies the problem. You might be wondering to yourself, now, why would that be a problem, you say? Because there's a certain amount of freedom that people should have before they inevitably become dogs, before they become beasts, mongrels. What the hell? Sorry, I keep yawning. It's pretty late at night for me, so I'm really gonna be finishing up this recording, and it's probably gonna be more raw, unedited, because I feel like editing would be ruining the vibe, at least right now. I think as I go on, I might start adding more animation, I guess, to it. More machinima style stuff going on, etc., etc. I have plenty of ideas of things to do, but that's kind of like this video. So, next up, we have, what is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of life? The purpose of life question is an interesting one because it differentiates. It gets different. It gets different between who you ask. One man might tell you that life, the whole purpose of it, is to fish and get laid. Boats and hoes. As crude as that sounds, it's true. It's what they want in life. And other people want wealth and success. Other people want fame. Some people want stability. And oftentimes, people will do anything to make sure that they get to keep it. That they get to not only get it, but keep it. The problem is, if you have a good thing, you best be keeping it because you ain't gonna have it for much longer. if you ask me, the purpose of life is quite simple. I am a Protestant Christian. I am not Lutheran or Calvinist. I am technically non-denominational. Evangelism. Oh my, that was a huge tire spike. Oh my whole existence. Oh my. Purpose of life. So you kind of heard my purpose of life a little bit earlier when I was talking about what is life. So I believe to an extent living a good life under God is what gives you a good life. Now, this isn't just a purely Bible bashing, what do you call that? It's not a sort of talk where I'm going to be bashing over the head of the Bible, but I do have some Bible verses actually here for a little bit later, which is a completely different question. I actually want to check. How much time do I have? 2 minutes. So we're going to tackle it. We're going to tackle on why we are alive / who or what created life. What a question. What a question. Genesis 1:1 clearly tells us that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Genesis 1:26 says, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. It continues on from there, but that's kind of where it just kind of explains a little bit more in depth what it means by that. But there is the simple fact that man is born into the world. And God is our creator. All right. God is the divine creator of all of humanity. And you are doing yourself a major disservice if you think that he's fake. If you don't think that he's real, if you don't think that he's coming again, you have done yourself a massive disservice. Because he is coming again. The master will return. We shall be like brides waiting for our groom. Our men and our women will start to prophesy. The world will become changed. What people often forget is that patriarchy, or the idea where men dominate women, is deeply anti-religious. And shows a pretty distinct lack of understanding of faith. A lot of people show a pretty distinct lack of understanding of faith in general. But if I have imparted anything in this very short episode, where all I really do is dig some dirt, is that you need to entrust your life to God, because you need to start living